In the beginning, there was only the great dark beyond and the swirling chaos of the twisting nether. From this churning void, the Titans emerged, colossal beings of order, sculptors of the cosmos, searching for nascent worlds, where slumbering world souls lay hidden. Among these was Azeroth, a world unlike any other, for within it pulsed a world soul of unimaginable power. But it was not untouched. Darkness festered deep within. Ancient, malevolent beings, known as the Old Gods, had rooted themselves into the crust of the world, their tendrils coiling through stone and soul alike. To cleanse this corruption, the Titans forged the mighty Keepers, immortal constructs empowered by their creators. Names like Aden, Freya, Loken, and Ra echoed across the newborn world. They, alongside the elemental lords they bound, and the monstrous constructs they shaped, waged war upon the Black Empire, the dominion of the Old Gods. Isharj, the strongest of the Old Gods, fell first, torn from Azeroth's surface by Amonthul himself. In doing so, he ripped a gaping wound in the world's flesh, from which its very lifeblood poured. The well of eternity. The Titans realized then that they could not remove the other Old Gods without destroying Azeroth entirely, so they imprisoned the rest. Thun, Yogg-Saron, and Zoth, deep beneath the surface, where they whispered and waited. The world quieted. The Titans departed, entrusting Azeroth's care to their keepers and servants. For ages untold, the world healed, civilizations rose from the stillness. Among the foremost were the Kaldorii, the Night Elves, born in the shadow of the well. They were immortal, graceful, and attuned to the wilds and arcane both. Under Queen Azshara, their empire flourished, luminous and serene, but pride took root, and through the queen's obsession with power came an alliance with Sargeras, the fallen titan. Sargeras, once the defender of creation, had turned against his kind, convinced that chaos could only be defeated through purging all creation. He formed the Burning Legion, a host of demons, and through Azshara's highborn, he sought entrance into Azeroth. The sundering followed, a cataclysm so vast, it shattered the single continent of Kalimdor into the lands known as the Eastern Kingdoms, Northrend, Pandaria, and the broken remains of Kalimdor itself. The Well of Eternity imploded, drowning cities and ending the era of Night Elf supremacy. Yet even in ruin, hope persisted. A new well was created atop Mount Hyjal. Magic was forbidden by the Night Elves, and the Druidic Order was born under the guidance of Cenarius. But in the east, survivors of the highborn exile, the Quel'Dorii, embraced arcane magic still. Their descendants would found Quel'Thalas. Time passed, the world turned, and then, from another realm, came the Orcs. Their world was Draenor, and it too had felt the touch of the Legion. Through the manipulations of Kil'jaeden, a demon lord of terrible cunning, the Orcish clans were bound in blood to demonic power, their skin turning green with fell corruption. Gul'dan, the warlock prophet of this pact, shattered Orcish tradition and led them through the dark portal into Azeroth. Thus began the First War. Stormwind fell. The human king, Lane Rin, was assassinated by the Halfirk, Garona Halfrison, but heroes rose. Anduin Lothar, last of the earthy bloodline, led the refugees north to Lordaeron. There the human kingdoms united with the dwarves and high elves, forming the Alliance of Lordaeron. Together, they repelled the Horde in the Second War, driving them back and capturing Orgrim Doomhammer. Yet victory was not salvation. The world stirred with deeper threats. Gul'dan had vanished during the war, seeking the tomb of Sargeras, and there awakened terrible forces. Death Knights and Ogre Magi were born from his twisted experiments. Dragons, enslaved by the demon soul, were forced to wage war upon mortals. And in the north, another threat took root, subtle, silent, waiting, the Scourge. Nazul, once Gul'dan's mentor, had been shattered by Kil'jaeden and reforged into the Lich King, a will bound in ice and armor, sealed within the frozen throne, atop Icecrown. His agents, the cult of the damned, sowed the seeds of undeath across Lordaeron. Among them rose Kel'Thuzad, arch-necromancer, and the cursed plague began to spread. Prince Arthas Menethil, heir to Lordaeron, sought to stop it. In doing so, he pursued vengeance over reason, justice over mercy. He took up the Runeblade, Frostmourne, sacrificing his soul to save his people, and, in so doing, became their doom. He slew his father, King Terenas, and led the Scourge across the land. Quel'Thalas fell. Dalaran was destroyed. Arthas crowned himself the Lich King atop the frozen throne, shattering the soul of Nazul and becoming the singular will of death. Incarnate, Azeroth reeled, and new champions rose to meet the darkness. Across the frozen continent of Northrend, the Lich King's dominion expanded. The dead marched in ceaseless silence, bound by will, not breath, and yet hope endured. In the hearts of mortals, a new force had emerged, not born of shadow, but forged in light. The Argent Dawn, an order of paladins and priests, stood vigilant against the creeping undeath. The remnants of Lordaeron's fallen knights, now called the Scarlet Crusade, fought with righteous fury, though madness clouded their purpose. Meanwhile, on distant Kalimdor, a new war brood, Thrall, a young orc shaman, had led his people across the sea, seeking freedom from demonic chains, guided by visions and the last whispers of prophecy. The Horde was reborn, not as conquerors, but as survivors. In the wilds of Ashenvale, they met the Night Elves, and in battle, the two ancient peoples clashed. But greater danger loomed, for the Legion had returned. Archimonde, lieutenant of Sargeras, was unleashed upon the world. The well of eternity's echoes drew him, and he sought the power of Nordrassil, the world tree. Atop Mount Hyjal, old hatreds fell aside, as orc, human, and night elf stood together against the coming end. The Battle of Mount Hyjal raged with fury. Ancients rose, dragons soared, and mortals gave their lives to protect the world. In the end, it was not blade nor spell, but sacrifice that delivered victory. Archimonde, undone by the fury of nature, perished in a blast that shattered forest and sky. But peace was fleeting. Far away, Illidan's Stormrage, once a hero, now a renegade, drank from the skull of Gul'dan, and became a demon hybrid. His power grew, but so did his isolation. Banished by his kin, he fled to Outland, shattered remains of Draenor. There, he conquered the Black Temple and declared himself ruler. Elsewhere, the Blood Elves, remnants of the fallen High Elves, sought salvation through dark magic. Led by Prince Kael, that Sunstrider, they pledged allegiance to Illidan, yet even he would come to serve darker masters. The Burning Legion's grasp reached farther. Kil'jaeden sought to destroy the Lich King, fearing his independence. And so, Illidan was sent, with Kael and the Naga Queen, Lady Vashj, to shatter the frozen throne. But Arthas, sensing the danger, fought his way back to Northrend. Through ice and war, he climbed the spire, shattered Illidan's army, and claimed his destiny. He donned the helm of domination, and as the crown descended, Arthas became the one true Lich King. Darkness settled, yet the world turned. Stormwind rebuilt, Lordaeron crumbled, the Forsaken, undead who broke free of the Lich King's grasp, rallied under Sylvanas Windrunner, the fallen Ranger General. The dwarves unearthed secrets of their titanic origin. In the halls of Uldaman and beyond, the gnomes, driven from Gnomeregan, sought to reclaim their city, and the trolls, exiled from Stranglethorn, found a place among the horde. A new age dawned, but with it came new terrors. A prophet, called the Herald of the End Times, whispered of a sleeping dragon beneath the world. Deathwing, once Neltharion the Earth Warder, had been driven mad by the old gods. His return shattered the world. The cataclysm sundered land and sea, and unleashed chaos upon all things. Mountains fell, oceans boiled, cities crumbled, elemental forces rose, and the Twilight's hammer cult spread madness in his name. But champions answered the call. Heroes from every race and creed stormed the bastion of Twilight, the Firelands, and the very heart of Deep Home. They rose against Ragnaros, Alakir, Cho'Gall, and finally, Deathwing himself. Atop the Maelstrom, the final battle raged, with the dragon soul, reforged in time and memory. They struck down the aspect of death. The aspects, having fulfilled their ancient charge, gave up their powers and left the future to mortals. And so, the Age of Mortals truly began. In the years that followed, as the world licked its wounds, a new land rose from the mists. Pandaria, shrouded for millennia, untouched by war, revealed itself once more. Here, the Horde and Alliance clashed anew, drawn by ancient rivalries and the thirst for conquest. But Pandaria was not passive. The land itself responded to emotion, fear, hatred, doubt, manifesting these into creatures of shadow. The Shah. Amidst this turmoil, ancient races stirred. The Mogu, cruel stone warlords, sought dominion once more. The Mantid swarmed in ages-old cycles, and at the heart stood the Pandaren, a people of peace, strength, and unexpected wisdom. Champions of both factions walked the path of the monk. They confronted the Shah, healed the wounds of war, and uncovered the truth of Pandaria's past. For in ancient days, the Titan-forged Watcher Ra had imprisoned an old god, Isharj, whose death had left behind the seeds of the Shah. And deeper still, beneath the veil of eternal blossoms, was the heart of Isharj, pulsing, corrupting. Garrosh Hellscream, war chief of the Horde, found this heart and drank its power. His thirst for dominion, twisted by pride and paranoia, led him to turn against all, even his own people. Orgrimmar became a fortress, a city of iron. The Horde fractured, the Alliance rallied, and the siege of Orgrimmar began. It was there, in the bowels of the city, that Garrosh fell, defeated, not slain, to stand trial, but justice was diverted. Kairos a bronze dragon, used a vision of alternate timelines to escape with Garrosh into another Draenor, a world before its fall. There, Garrosh seeded rebellion, united the Orc clans, and forged the Iron Horde, a force of might, free from demonic influence, but no less dangerous. Through a new dark portal, they marched once again upon Azeroth, but the world had changed. The Alliance and Horde, now wary allies, crossed into this new Draenor. They battled giants, warlords, and even a reforged Gul'dan. And in the shadows, the Legion watched. For Gul'dan, in this timeline, became the vessel of Sargeras's will, opening a new gateway. He heralded the full return of the Burning Legion. The broken shore burned. Heroes fell. Varian Rin, king of Stormwind, gave his life. Valjean, war chief of the Horde, mortally wounded, named Sylvanas Windrunner his successor. And so, the war against the Legion began. Across the Broken Isles, champions rose, wielding legendary artifacts of old. Each class found new purpose, new power. The demon hunters, children of Illidan, returned, embracing the fell, to fight it. Together, they stormed the tomb of Sargeras, defeated Kil'jaeden in the depths of the twisting nether, and at last, aboard the Legion's world of Argus, confronted the Dark Titan himself. Illidan stood as jailer, as Sargeras was imprisoned, but in his last defiant act, the Titan drove his blade into Azeroth, wounding the very world. From that wound, golden blood flowed, Azerite, essence of the world soul. And with it came a new war. The discovery of Azerite ignited fires of ambition. Nations scrambled for power, trust shattered, the fragile peace dissolved, and the Fourth War began. Sylvanas Windrunner, now war chief, moved swiftly. She raised Teldrassil, the World Tree, in a brutal act of war. Thousands perished in flames. The Alliance retaliated, storming Lordaeron, capital of the Forsaken. There, amid blight and betrayal, the city fell, and Sylvanas vanished into shadow. As battles raged, champions were drawn elsewhere, to ancient Kul Tiras, stronghold of seafaring humans, and Zandalar, empire of proud jungle trolls. In each, old powers stirred. Queen Azhara, once a night elf, now ruler of the Naga, awakened in the deep. She sought to unleash N'Zoth, the last free old god. Through deceit, she opened the path. N'Zoth rose, reshaping reality, infecting minds. New York Kalotha, the sleeping city, became a waking nightmare. But the heroes of Azeroth, delved into madness, resisted the whispers, and in the heart of the dark, struck N'Zoth down. Yet victory came at a cost. For Sylvanas, her purpose unveiled, had never served the Horde, nor the Forsaken. She sought to shatter fate itself. In Icecrown, she confronted the Lich King, Bolvar for Dragon, and with one blow, she destroyed the Helm of Domination, tearing open the veil between life and death. The Shadowlands were revealed, a realm beyond death, split into 4 domains, ruled by ancient covenants: Bastion, of order; Maldraxxus, of might; Ardenweald, of rebirth; Revendreth, of atonement; and beyond them, the Maw, a place of torment, ruled by the Jailer. Anduin Wrynn, Thrall, Jaina, Bane, all were captured, drawn into the Jailer's schemes. The Arbiter, who once judged all souls, lay dormant as all flowed into the Maw. The balance was broken. Champions followed, forging pacts with the Covenants, gathering strength, and unraveling the Jailer's plan. Atop Torghast, the Tower of the Damned, they fought their way through endless horrors. They confronted Sylvanas in the Sanctum of Domination, and though she fled, the truth emerged. The Jailer sought the sepulchre of the First Ones to rewrite reality. In Zereth Mortis, the birthplace of all creation, the final battle unfolded. There, the Jailer was undone, his plans unmade. Sylvanas, judged by her sins, was cast into the Maw to face the souls she had damned. And the veil, once torn, was mended, but the scars of the past lingered. In the aftermath of the Shadowlands, Azeroth drew breath, but peace was fleeting. Whispers returned, deeper than before. In the heart of the world, the dragons stirred. The Dragon Isles, long hidden, now called to life. Once the cradle of the dragonflights, they had slept through ages. Alexstrasza, the life binder, led the call, seeking to renew the oath of the aspects and restore their ancient power. But the Isles had changed. Elemental forces raged, primalists rose, and ancient enemies returned. Among them, Raszageth the Storm Eater, a primal incarnate who sought to sunder all Titan influence. As the aspects returned, they found their flight diminished, their legacy fading, and so, champions once more rose. Together with the Drakthir, beings born of Neltharion's lost experiments, they faced the chaos. Vaults were breached, secrets uncovered. Tyr, the noble keeper, long thought lost, stirred once again. Raszageth fell, but her kin remained. Eridikrin, Viranath, and Fyrak, the other primal incarnates, each bearing ancient hatred. One sought eternity, another vengeance, and one only to burn the world. Fyrak, fueled by Shadowflame, descended upon the Emerald Dream. There, the dream turned to nightmare, but in unity, the aspects reclaimed their power. Through memory, sacrifice, and the light of Elune, they stood anew. Fyrak, devourer of dreams, met his end in fire and moonlight. The dragonflights, reborn, chose not to rule, but to guide. And as the Isles calmed, a new echo stirred. Far below, deeper than earth, older than time, came a pulse. From the roots of the world, An echo of the Black Empire murmured once more, but that is a tale yet to awaken. Thus ends the telling, for now, of the world called Azeroth. A world shaped by fire and frost, by honor and betrayal, by mortals who stood where gods once fell, and who, in their defiance, became legends. But legends never rest. For from beneath the crust of Azeroth, where titanic machines slumber, a new threat stirs. The war within begins. The earthen, ancient Titan-forged dwarves, long sealed beneath the surface, begin to awaken, their minds fractured, their purpose obscured. They are drawn to a hidden force. The depths, dark places untouched by light, begin to open. From these chasms, a new evil rises. Xal'atath, the harbinger of the void, returns, bearing secrets older than time, and a hunger that threatens all life. Alliances shift as champions descend into the subterranean realms. The Nerubians, once servants of the Lich King, now rise anew, changed, evolved. They seek dominion beneath the world, a web of shadows tightening around the heart of Azeroth. The Alliance and Horde, scarred but unbroken, must unite once more, not just in arms, but in spirit. As they journey deeper, truths long buried come to light, echoes of the first ones, ancient designs, and a purpose not yet fulfilled. Azeroth, the world soul, stirs, and her awakening will reshape fate.